Alright, kiddies, it's Dragon Lord Frodo again. And there's something I really want to talk about. And it's got to my attention where people are talking about this. Okay, it's like everybody's like talking about this. Everyone I say this shit to. So, remember that whole thing where I pulled a knife on my mother that one day? I pulled a knife on her. Some people are getting on my case about that. Some people are shaming me for that. And they're shaming me, you know why? Because they're saying, you pulled a knife on your own mother. Or like the whole thing where I tried to get my mom arrested a couple weeks ago. You tried to get your own mother arrested. And people are shaming me for that. Like, okay, like I don't see why that's like a big problem. Really. The way I see it, the way I see this whole situation is it's not that. Here's the thing. Whenever people like shame me for that shit, like, okay, they're no better than like these stupid fucking liberals that go on. They get offended at everything. And here's why. Here's why. Okay. Here's the thing. Okay. When you sit there and say something like, you pulled a knife on your own mother, or you wanted to get your own mother arrested. When people say something like that, they're ignoring all the fucking facts that went into it. And right now, they're trying to get me on the fields. Okay? Because when you sit there and say you pulled a knife on your own mother, okay? Or you tried to get your own mother arrested. They're trying to make it all about more about the feelings, okay? Like, who pulls a knife on their own mother? Okay? Or who gets their own mother arrested? But what people aren't really sitting there and thinking is, why? Why did I pull the knife on my mother? Why? Why did I try to get my mother arrested? Well, here's the thing. What people aren't saying, what my mother isn't saying though, is that when I pulled the knife on my mother, yeah, I admit I did it. Am I proud of it? Not really. Did I wish I didn't do it? Yeah, I wish I didn't have to do that. But what happened is, it wasn't because it has nothing to do with, because what they're trying to say here is that, oh, you're being psychotic when you did that. You had a psychotic episode and you're going crazy and all that. You pulled a knife on your own mother. And what they're really doing is they're not looking at it they're not looking at why I pulled the knife on her. They're just looking at the fact that I pulled a knife on my own mother. Really. And that's not what we need to have. We need to sit here and look at why it happened. And the reason it happened oh shit. The reason it happened was it was because, plain and simple, my mother was being a danger to herself and to others. Okay? She was being a danger to herself and to others. She was being a danger to herself, and she was being a danger to others, and she was destroying property. She was destroying property. She was destroying property. She was being a danger to herself and to others. Throwing shit around, okay? Like, that's never appropriate to do. That's not appropriate. But because, you know, she was being a danger, she was being a danger to herself and to others, okay? She was throwing property, okay? She was destroying property. She wasn't in touch with reality at the time. And I had to go, and my dad wasn't doing shit about it. He was pretty much just sitting there like, let her throw property or whatever. That's pretty much what he did. Just sat there. My dad sat there like he was all stiff. And he was just like, well, you know, let her throw property pretty much. And I was just like, I'm not going to let her destroy my property. I don't care. I don't care where the fuck I am. I'm not going to let anybody fucking destroy my property. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I did. I did what I had to do. I pulled out my knife. I pointed it at her. And I said, put the fucking tablet down. And what the fuck did she do? Why she put the fucking tablet down? That's what she did. She calmed the fuck down right there and then. Okay? So, I diffused the situation. Okay? And I diffused the situation right there and then. Okay? So, I really don't regret doing what I did, because it was something that I had to do. Had I never done that, she would have destroyed the entire fucking house. And then I would be blamed for it. I would be blamed for the whole thing. Okay? And don't say that I won't be, because I've been blamed in the past for her destruction and whatnot. In the past, I've been blamed for, like, when she gets in these little fucking temper tantrums. Guess what? I get blamed for it. I get blamed for her destroying property. So I'm not gonna sit there and fucking let her blame me for her little temper tantrums or whatnot. For example, when the day that I had to factory reset the computer, and this all ties into the whole thing too. Okay, so my dad put my fucking tablet in the fucking washer that day where I pulled the knife on my mom. He put my fucking tablet in the washer because he's too stupid to fucking take shit out. Because let me recap what happened, okay? My electric went out that day, right? My electric went out because there was an issue with when I moved in here, okay? The electric was on. But it was like it was the other tenant, the last tenant here. He had the electric still on. So I'm like, okay. So I ended up trying to go down to the library, and I was like faxing shit left and right, trying to get the electric on in my name. Okay. So that's fine. So I did that. And, I thought I had everything covered. I thought I had everything under control. And then, all of a sudden, the one day I'm sitting here and all my fucking power goes out. Like, what the fuck, And I was just like, okay. It was like... I thought it was a power outage at first. But what I didn't realize is that they actually shut off the electric because, like I said, I was pretty much using the other guy's last tenant's electric. And I thought the whole time that they put the electric back on in my name. Because I got a confirmation saying that it went through with the fax machine at the library. It actually didn't. And it was just such a fucking hassle to get it back on. And at that point, I was just like, when I got my fucking shit turned off, I was just like, whatever. So I called up my parents. I said, let me spend the night, I need the fucking CPAP machine on and everything else. So they were like, okay, we're not home right now. I was like, okay, fine. So I gathered all my shit together, right? This was a Monday. I gathered all my shit together. Took it down to my parents' house. I had like my CPAP machine. I had my CPAP machine. I had like a backpack full of shit. I had my, what do you call it now? I had my backpack full of shit. I had some clothes that I needed to be washed anyway. And because I have like all this shit on me, I tend to combine a lot of shit. So I had like my tablet in my bag with the laundry and shit. So, and I get to my parents' house. I got all this shit on me. I'm like I literally looked like one of those guys that goes hiking and he has like all that shit on his back, like he has like the fucking tent on his back. You know what I'm saying? I looked like that guy. So, yeah, in order for me to carry all that shit, I had to combine some shit, So, I got to my parents' house. They weren't home. right? So I didn't know when they were going to be back. So I ended up going back home because what happened was I forgot, because it was Monday, I forgot that I had to pull the trash cans out. I had to pull the trash cans out to the front because the next day was trash day. And since I would be spending the night, I didn't get to pull the trash cans out. I forgot to do it. So I put all my stuff near the back door, and I walked back home. They only live like 3 or 4 blocks away, so it's not that big of a walk. Pulled out my shit, pulled out my fucking garbage cans and shit, and that was it. I came back to my parents' house, and they were home. They put my shit in the house. Okay, and my dad has this weird thing where if I'm like I used to like do my wash at my parents' house, right? Because I don't have a washer here. It's either them or I have to go to a fucking laundromat and deal with the white trash there. I might as well just go to my parents' house and do the wash, because then, I can sit around, fucking play with the cats and shit, the dog. And, so I ended up... So my dad has this weird thing where, if you're doing wash, that wash has to be done immediately. Okay? It has to be done immediately. Like, you come in here, you do that wash immediately, and you have to sit on that washer, and as soon as it goes off, as soon as that washer goes off, you need to be putting that wash in the dryer. Okay? And it's this whole weird thing, right? It's this whole fucking weird shit going on with that. So... that's like their rule. That's like their rules. You know what I'm saying? And so I get back to my parents' house, and they have my bag on top of the washer, and the bag with my clothes and shit. And my dad, I'm like looking around the bag. I'm like, did you see my tablet anywhere? He's like, oh, where'd you put it? I said, it was in that green bag with my clothes. So he's like, oh. So we found out all he did with my clothes was he fucking opened up the washer and just fucking he literally took, like, pretend this is a thing of clothes, my backpack. All he did was he's like, and just dumped it right in. He didn't bother, which means too that the shit that needed bleach in it, he just washed everything, like in the same thing. He mixed colors and whites. Okay, he mixed the colors and the whites in one fucking thing, like a retard. Which means he didn't use bleach. So... and... so, I was like on edge all night, just because it just seemed like it was one thing after another with that day. My electric got turned off. My tablet got washed. I was just so fucking on edge. On top of that, my parents decided that they were gonna go ahead and fucking call the fucking electric company for me. I was like, no, I'm not asking you to do that. All I'm asking you to do is to fucking let me spend the night. I'll do it tomorrow myself. Okay? I'll do it tomorrow. So then, but they're insisting that they do get it done and I'm over with. And they're like, this should have been done months ago. You're so fucking lazy. You have to rely on everyone else. I'm like, shut the fuck up. And I just couldn't fucking stand it. I was calling up the fucking electric company on the phone at their house, but of course, they had to be talking to me while I'm talking to the electric company, so I'm hearing like one person over here talking, I'm hearing another person over here talking, and then I'm hearing the fucking TV going, and I'm hearing the fucking radio going, and I'm trying to focus on the electric company on the fucking phone. And then I'm like, shut the fuck up, everybody. And then they're like, this is why you need that medication, because you can't pay attention. I was like, how about you just shut the fuck up for 5 fucking minutes? You know what I'm saying? They couldn't take it. And then my fucking rich uncle comes over like a fucking retard. He just shows up. That put me on more of an edge. And at this point, I'm just like, what the fuck, you know? Like, everything is just boom, boom, boom. Everything. Like, I couldn't take it anymore. And I was just fucking nasty and mean that whole fucking night. So earlier, like, I went to sleep. I went to fucking sleep, I got up, right? And something happened where I was still on edge. I was still on edge from everything that happened the night before. Now my mom is like, okay, we're gonna take care of this today. And of course you can't do anything right. So I was just like, this wouldn't have happened, this won't be happening had I just taken care of this shit by myself. Okay? All I asked for was a place to stay for the night. Okay? All I asked for was a place to stay for the night. I didn't ask for anything less, I didn't ask for anything more. Okay? They took it upon themselves to do this shit. You know, my dad had to have that wash done immediately, so therefore my tablet got destroyed. He couldn't wait the fucking 5 minutes for me to get back home. To get back to his house. He couldn't wait. So in the meantime, my tablet gets destroyed. And of course it's my fault. Of course it's my fault, and this is going to tie into the whole computer thing as well. Of course it's my fault that my tablet got destroyed because it shouldn't have been in the bag with my clothes. Okay, whatever. I can accept it. Okay? I still think that my dad just should have just let me come back to his place and let me do the fucking wash on my own. Had he have done that, I would have known that the tablet was in the fucking bag. Okay? Or he could have, but he won't touch my clothes for some reason. Because there's germs on my clothes. But he has no fucking problem fucking touching my dirty ass fucking toothbrush to make sure it's fucking wet. So that if it's not wet, that means he didn't brush his teeth. He has no problem doing that. But, oh my God, fucking dirty clothes. Ah. So anyway, this all ties in. So it's all my fault that he threw the fucking tablet in the washer. Because the tablet shouldn't have been in the fucking bag. Okay, fine. I can accept that. So when I fucking did the computer, this was like the last straw living with them, okay? This is like the straw that broke the camel's back, so to speak, of me living with my parents. Is when they asked me to go and get rid of a virus. There was a big fucking virus on the computer, and they, oh, can you fix it? Yeah, sure. So what I did was I factory reset it, and when they found out what I did, my mom just went all fucking, completely fucking psycho. Because there was a picture that she took of her nursing license. She had a nursing license, and she took a picture of it, and it was like just like a fucking picture on her computer. And when I factory restored that, she thought that she was out of a job because she no longer has this fucking nursing license. Like, okay. So she got all pissed off at me and started destroying the fucking house. And then I had to sit there and clean up her mess because it was my fault that she was like that. That's what they said. It was my fault that my mom went and destroyed property. It was my fault because if I didn't factory reset that and therefore, delete her fucking nursing license picture, she would have done that. In essence, I made her do that. Like, you can't take personal responsibility anymore, right? So, okay, everything that happens is always somebody else's fault, right? Like, she's devoid of any responsibility for destroying the fucking house, okay? Because she, the reason she destroyed the house. The reason she destroyed the house was because of something that I did. You know what I'm saying? That's the bottom line. So, how this story and the other story with the fucking tablet ties in? Well, here's the thing. And I'm gonna be frank with this one, okay? Just like I should have had my tablet in that bag. How about this? How about my mother should have had her nursing license on the computer? How about she should just like backed it up? She should have backed that fucking nursing license up. Like, back that ass up. Maybe she should have backed it up before she thought about it. It's always supposed to be my fault, right? I'm responsible for my dad breaking my tablet because the tablet was in my fucking laundry bag. and also my mom is I'm responsible for losing my mom's nursing license because I factory restored the computer. And just like they said, oh, you should have had that thing in your bag, my mom should have had that thing just on the computer. She should have fucking backed it up. She should have had it on fucking thumb drives up the ass, maybe on a cloud server. And I know cloud servers weren't really a thing back in the day. Back then, they kind of were, but not like these days. I mean, we had, like, back then, we had, like, fucking file storage shit. But whatever. She should have backed it up on there. And, you know, it's always about my fault. So, the whole thing is that the day that I pulled a knife on my mom, okay, she was going around, she was destroying property, she was being a danger to herself and to others, she wasn't in touch with reality, and she ended up taking my tablet, the one my dad washed, because my dad washed it and threw it, and we threw it into a thing of rice, because it was supposed to make it work again. Which, by the way, I don't think that actually works. I don't think it works. When you put the fucking thing in the rice like that. I don't think it actually works, and I'll tell you why. Because all it probably does is just dry it out. Okay? Which is fine. But it doesn't just make it work again. Like, the water destroys the circuitry, like, immediately upon touching it. Okay? It's like voltage. It shorted out the fucking tablet. Okay? Because there's a battery inside the tablet. And once the circuitry gets wet, it fucking fries it. So, no amount of drying it out is going to actually, do that, Once it's fucking, once the fucking tablet hits the water, like if you submerge it in water, like that circuitry in there, okay, those aren't rust resistant, okay. Like the water corrodes the silicon circuit boards in there. It corrodes it like immediately, so it's completely fried as soon as you throw it into the fucking water. And what happens is the water, like we could drip shit on a fucking tablet, like on the screen. You could do that, but what happens is it actually once the fucking water goes into the USB port that charges it, it fucking fries it. That's almost like it's like a lower version of just sticking a fork in a fucking wall socket, So anyway, she put in the fucking rice, and it wasn't even just a fucking tablet. She was just throwing random shit around. My PS4 controller she threw, because I wasn't moving fast enough for her. I had to go and buy a new PS4 controller. I had to go buy that, re-buy a new PS4 controller. $60 right there. And, she was like, throwing shit around, and I was like, I had to fucking defuse the situation. Okay? So I did what I had to do. And it worked. Okay? She was out of touch with reality. She was destroying property. She was being a danger to herself and to others. Because she was throwing shit around randomly. And it could have hit somebody. Like, she could have threw a controller and it hit my dad or something. And of course, it would be my fucking fault. Because somehow I would have made my mom throw the controller at him. And my dad's not, like, fucking doing anything. He's just sitting there. He's not fucking doing shit. He's just like, oh, let her fucking go. Let her fucking be. Let her fucking throw property. Let her be a danger to herself and to others. Let her be out of touch with reality. You know, he wasn't stopping her from throwing shit around. Okay? And when I pulled the knife on her, she fucking stopped right there and then. And then when I pulled the knife on her, my dad had to get involved. Oh, now you're pulling a knife on your own mother. Listen here, asshole. Listen here, pedophile. Okay? Yes, I just pulled a knife on my mother. Okay? Did I want to do it? No. Did I have to do it? Yes. If she would have gotten like that around a police officer, what do you think the police officer would have done? He would have subdued my mother. And they would have done it in a more, they've probably done it in a more violent way. Buffalo police don't have tasers. So the only other thing that they would have had was their guns. So it's either you get me pulling a knife on you from a distance, or you could just have a fucking cop come here and shoot your fucking ass. Either way, I don't give a shit. But I diffused the situation. Okay? I don't regret it. I don't regret it. And these people like my mother and Richard Viola, okay, now they're saying shit like, even my rich uncle Art is saying it. Oh, you pulled a knife on your own mother. What kind of son pulls a knife on their own mother? And I'll be honest, when I hear that, it reminds me of like these stupid fucking liberals that, you know, that they don't listen to facts or reason. It's all about what they feel. So, for example, these people that think that there's like 20,000 different genders, okay? And it makes no fucking sense, okay? But because it makes their fucking fantasy now a reality. Now it's like, well, there's no scientific evidence to back up that there's 20 million different genders. Okay? That's bad. That guy's bad. He's a bad guy because he won't let me, be a weirdo, you know what I'm saying? He's trying to say, fuck facts. It's all about what we feel, you know what I'm saying? And when people sit there and shame me for pulling a knife on my mom, that's exactly what they're doing. It's all about, it has nothing to do with the facts. They're not, like, all they're saying, you pulled a knife on your own mother. You pulled a knife on your own mother. That's all they're saying. But they're not looking at the facts of it. They're not looking at the fact that she was out of control, she was a danger to herself and to others, and that she, was pretty much, she was destroying property. Okay? It's all about let's tug at the heartstrings. Bullshit. You pulled a knife on your own mother. How dare you? How dare you pull a knife on your own mother? And what I hear when people say that shit this is what I hear. How dare you prevent your mother from going completely apeshit and destroying property? How dare you? How dare you prevent your mother from being a danger to herself and to others? How dare you? That's what I'm hearing. Same thing when I tried to get my mom arrested a couple weeks ago. Like she was warned by the police, by Santana, Officer Santana of the BPD, the Buffalo Police Department, not to bother me. Okay? She was told not to bother me. And what the fuck did she do? She started going out. She went, I had her blocked. I have her blocked on YouTube. I have her blocked on fucking Facebook. I have her blocked on my fucking phone. And what the fuck did she do? She made a new account on fucking YouTube. Same fucking name. She used a real fucking name. And she's going all fucking nutty on my YouTube. I wake up to like 5 comments from her. Then she comes on, I'm like, oh. And at first I was just going to let it go. Okay? But then I was doing a live stream later. The live stream had nothing to do with her. She comes on all in a fucking huff. It had nothing to do with her, so it's not like she was trying to defend herself from anything. It was on here like, why don't you tell the fucking everybody on YouTube about when you jerked off in school? And I was just like, you know what? I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit, okay? And I was just like, fuck. She was warned. And I had to wait like 2 days because Santana was on vacation or something. I don't know if I could have just called up any random ass police officer. But I don't know. But I tried to message Santana on Facebook. I don't think he got it though about it. I'm like, she's fucking bothering me again. And of course she was in fucking Florida. Like, okay, you're in fucking Florida, so that means you could just sit here and harass people in Buffalo. Because you know that they're not going to come after you all the way in fucking Florida. You know what I'm saying? Because she's a fucking coward. That's what it is. She's a fucking coward. Hey, guess what? At least I'm not a fucking coward. At least I have the ball to sit there and harass people in Buffalo or, you know, the surrounding areas, you know, at least I have the ball to fucking harass people like Clint, who's in Buffalo, or Barf, Tonawanda, or you know who in Cheektowaga. At least I could sit there and say that I could sit there and harass people in my own fucking backyard. Meanwhile, she goes to fucking Florida, she thinks it's a fucking free-for-all. Well, they're not gonna come after me in Florida. That's what she's thinking. I got my fucking rich... That's the other thing. My rich uncle was going off on me the one time. Well, when I fucking pulled the knife on my mom. She's like, why don't you be a man and pull a knife on a real person? On a real... Like, my mom's not a real person. Why don't you go and pull a knife on a man? You're such a fucking coward. No, it's not about pulling... It's not about being a coward or being brave. Okay? This had nothing to do with that. Does he not understand this kind of concept? Like I said before, my mother was being a danger to herself and to others. Okay? She was destroying property. And I came back, and I diffused the situation. You didn't see my dad going around trying to diffuse the situation, did you? No. No, and when I hear people say shit like, I'm gonna say it again, if I hear people say shit like, how dare you pull a knife on your mother, on your own mother? What, you'd rather me just pull a knife on a random mother? I don't know. But seriously though, when I hear something like that, I always think, how dare I prevent my mother from being a danger to herself and to others? How dare I prevent my mother from destroying property? How dare I prevent my mother from being out of touch with reality? I'm a big fucking bad guy, right? And that's all I gotta say about that. Same thing with the fucking arrest. How dare I prevent my mother from coming onto my YouTube and fucking harassing me? How dare I? I'm such a fucking bad son for doing that. I'm such a bad fucking son for preventing my mother from destroying property, being a danger to herself and to others, and for being out of touch with reality. How dare I? I must be a bad fucking son. And with that, this is Dragon Lord Frodo, and I approve this fucking message. Thanks in advance for watching this.